Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and yes, it's finally happening. We are finally going to take a look at the Transformers Studio Series 73 Leader Class, Grindor, and Ravage. And oh boy, I really hope that this figure lives up to my expectations, as we are going to take him out of the box and overview him, take a look at all the parts, do a review, size compare, transform, and you know, all the rest of the good stuff we do in this video. So without further ado, first let's take a look at how he looks like in the box. Right here we can see good picture of Grindor right here in his CGI form. Right here we can see the toy itself, Grindor and Ravage Studio Series Transformers. Studio Series number 73. This is a close-up picture of Leader Class Grindor. On the back, we have the details of the figure. We see that his iconic movie scene is the forest fight when Optimus Prime, Starscream, and Megatron and Grindor are fighting Optimus Prime and everything so that they could get Sam Witwicky and stuff. And he transforms in 46 steps from his robot to his helicopter mode, and then we can see our mini Ravage figure. And then right here these words say, fighting Optimus Prime proves to be a headache for Grindor as the Autobot leader tears his head in two. And then on this side of the packaging we can see a CGI of Ravage right here and Grindor. And then the top of the box we can see Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and right there we can see Grindor. So without further ado, let's get Grindor out of the packaging. And so here we have Grindor and Ravage out of the packaging, and what to say is that I have transformed this figure once, and oh boy, this figure is one of the best Studio Series figures that Hasbro has ever released. Now, I'll go more into detail later. First, I'm going to tell you why this figure is such a good figure. Is that the transformation is, if you have the Studio Series Blackout, it's going to be the same. And as you all know, that transformation is very cool and very seems very advanced and everything. And I really do like how the transformation was for this figure and everything. So now let's start taking a look at detail. First, let's start off with Ravage. Now, first off, Ravage, this tiny little minifigure. Actually, I was not expecting to be packaged with Grindor over here, because I was thinking he would always be packaged with Soundwave, but nope, he got packaged with Grindor, and I really do like that. Although he never appeared with Grindor together in the film, although I really do like that. As far as articulation goes for Ravage, he has some ball joints on all of the legs, so there is a lot of range of motion where his legs can go, and his tail can move up and down. Unfortunately, it can't swivel left to right or anything. That is quite unfortunate. I think that is mainly due to the storage, but I've tried it. I don't think it's mostly due to the storage. So the paint on this figure as well is good. The little red eye that we see there, the silver, this whole area that looks like his whole skeleton and everything. I really do like that. These little guns right here, they do look really amazing. And now setting Ravage off to the side, and now turning toward the main event himself, being the Studio Series Grindor. Oh boy, this figure is actually quite cool. The amount of detail that is applied to this figure, the new rest details, the new paint applications are really cool. And if you did have the original Blackout, or if you missed out on this figure, I recommend getting this figure and comparing, or this figure is absolutely the superior figure over Blackout. And I think that this figure actually is one of the best Studio Series figures ever. Although being the same mold as Blackout, I think that this figure actually works really well as a Blackout or a Grindor. So however you'll be referring to this figure, it is mostly the same character. This is Grindor right here, and unfortunately I did not get Blackout due to the whole supply and demand problems and stuff like that, and way too expensive with all those scalpers charging it at a really high price, like on Amazon or Walmart or eBay or whatever. So it was pretty unfortunate I couldn't get Blackout. But with this figure, well, you have a second chance to get Blackout, or shall I say Grindor. So now let's take a look at some of the details on him. First off, that head sculpt. I think that the head sculptor here looks really marvelous. It looks really nice. The detail that is implied looks exactly if he just jumped out of the movie and plopped into my review station. The hands, this is what made a lot of people want to buy this figure, is that the hands can open and close and rotate left to right and go up and down or whatever. You have a lot of range of motion with these hands, and where the original Blackout did not have that much motion, so I could see why. So some pros and cons with this figure is, like, there's a lot of pros right here. I won't mention all of them, and some cons It's just I really wish they would have packaged a new blade accessory and probably and that's it. And just the transformation is it's a bit hard, but I think that overall this whole figure, the whole everything is just amazing with this figure. The detail that is applied, the rust paint applications, the new paint applications applied to this figure, and everything, the silver, the gray, and everything is really cool. So with that being said, now let's turn our attention toward the articulation. So right here on his shoulder is on like kind of a hinge joint. His shoulder, yeah, his bicep is on I believe a hinge joint, a swivel joint. Hinge joint on the elbow could bend past 90 degrees. Full rotation on the wrist. Same thing will apply to the other side. For the waist, you have quite a range of rotation. The legs, you can ratchet them outward, forward, backward, and honestly, this figure has a lot of range of motion. There's two hinge joints right here, which can really make this figure pose in more dynamic poses, and then right here is a swivel joint for the ankle, and I think that looks pretty cool. And last but not least, a ball joint for the head, so you can like left to right, up and down, tilt side to side, and do a full 360. But due to the nature of the design, I don't believe it could. So now with that being said, now let's get to the size comparison segment of Grindor or Blackout, however you prefer. So let's get to the size comparison segment. And here for a size comparison of Optimus? No, Blackout. Here is the forest battle scene that we see in Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, when Megatron, Blackout, and Starscream all huddle around Optimus Prime to kill him and everything. But Optimus Prime wins, beats up Blackout and Megatron and Starscream and everything. So you can recreate that entire movie scene. You could just have the Decepticons in the background of Optimus Prime. You can have Optimus Prime right there, and I think that looks perfect. Of the size between all of them, and just straighten out Optimus Prime and just adjusting Megatron just a little bit, and Starscream, just putting them into the mix right here. Let's just bring in Grindor over here. And I think that the scale here is pretty darn accurate to how it showed up in the film. As we did see when Optimus Prime battles all of them, we do see that they are all bigger than him and everything, superior than him, but Optimus Prime gets the upper hand and beats them all up and everything. So I think this whole, all of these figures are completely accurate to how they appeared in the film, and how Optimus Prime beat Megatron up, and how he beat up Megatron and Blackout and Starscream and everything. So that was a size comparison between Blackout and Optimus Prime, Megatron, and Starscream. Now for a comparison between Grindor and a deluxe class, this being the Studio Series Bumblebee, the Studio Series 74 Bumblebee, his wave mate right here. We can see that the scale here, I think it's pretty accurate, although we never see them stand this close to each other in the film. But I think the scale here between Ravage right here is accurate. We do see in that one scene when Bumblebee is fighting Ravage and stuff, we could just pose Ravage on top of Bumblebee's head right here. Just pose him right here. And I'm just going to take Grindor out of the mix right now. And I'm just going to add in Skipjack or Rampage, however you would prefer, to make that whole scene where Bumblebee is fighting Ravage and Rampage, and while Sam Witwicky is just running around and just running around, trying to get a secure spot from the Decepticons and Bumblebee. So now with the size comparisons being done, now let's do a size comparison just for Ravage. And now for the transformation of Grindor. It is rather complex, yet kind of simple, rather complex. So, first I'll just transform Ravage. Although he can't transform, you could just spread out his legs like that. Just have him like this, and then this little port right here will attach to Grindor eventually. So just keep watching so you can see how to do it. Now the first step you're gonna have to do is just deattach Grindor's weapon accessory, which is actually in fact this blade right here. It's that same blade we get from the Blackout figure, so it can spin really well, and I think it looks really nice and all. And in person it looks better than how it does on the camera. In person it looks way faster than how it does look like in the camera. So now just putting that to the side right now. The first thing you're gonna have to do is just straighten out this whole figure as usual. You're just gonna have to straighten out the figure and everything. Do that, fold in the arms like so, like that. Do that, you're just gonna have to make sure this whole region, just make sure everything is loosened up and everything like so. After that, you're gonna have to make sure these regions deattach like so. Just make sure they make sure these parts detach like this. Make sure that one deattaches, and then do the same process to the other side right there. So just make sure that one deattaches as well. Faces upward. After that, you're gonna have to make sure that the legs do in fact face each other like this. Then do the same process on the other side. Make sure that they face each other like that. And then make sure this whole marine section is facing outward like this. And then you're gonna have to rotate the whole back part of the foot like so. Do the same process on the other side. Rotate it like that. And then make sure this whole region does click into place like so. Make sure it does click in right there, like that. Now with that being done, you're gonna have to move your attention toward the back right here. Make sure everything is folded out like this, like that. After that, you're gonna have to make sure this whole area is inside right here. Then after that, you're gonna have to make sure that this region deattaches like so, like that. Make sure that whole area deattaches like that. Then after that, just make sure the gun faces forward like that. After that, you're just gonna have to make sure that this whole region does fold out like that. Then one of the parts I do like is that you just push his head inside right there. Put this little part down and put this little part down as well, and you essentially have Blackout's front part of the helicopter already done. So I really do like that. So now after that, you're just gonna have to make sure that this whole circle region is inside there. And then after that, you're gonna have to make sure you disconnect the whole arms and everything. Fold in the hands like so. Make sure that they fold in like so. And right here is rather one of the most difficult steps I do have with this figure. I always forget how to do it properly, so I think it goes like this. Connect these two pieces like that. And after that, you're just gonna have to make sure that it's just a matter of aligning it up properly. And then yeah, this is one of the steps that I mean that this figure is just like hard to transform. So I'll just go on the other side right now. You could just fold it in like that. Just make sure this whole region, this whole hand falls inside right there. This part folds downward like so. Oh, I remember how to do it. And then after that, you're just gonna have to make sure that this region right here does in fact have to, whoops. You're just gonna have to make sure this whole region attaches like so. Make sure it just pushes in like that. And now you saw that piece that got deattached. You're just simply gonna reattach it like so, like that. Just make sure this part is facing up forward for extra clearance. So that you just reattach this whole area right here. And then after that, you're just gonna have to fold this in right there. After that, you're gonna do the same process to the other side. Just gonna have to fold out that piece right there. And then simply, if you just saw how the other piece did deattach, you're just gonna attach it the same way I did with the other one. Just give it a nice nudge and then jam it in there. And whoops. Just gonna have to make sure this piece goes in right there and goes in like that. Now with that being done, you're noticing now that the plane is almost the helicopter mode is almost complete. So now you're just gonna have to, it's just a matter of attaching things that are like logical things that attach together. Like these two pieces, they're gonna attach together like so. So you're just gonna attach these two right here like that. And then you're gonna attach these two like that, and fold these parts out, like fold these parts back like that. And now with that being done, we almost have blackout. We can almost see how the helicopter's turning now. Move the camera slightly down like that. And then right here, you're just gonna have to make sure that the arms do align up with the back region right here. Make sure that the same process is done on the other side. Do the same thing on the other side right there. Just push it in there. And I think rather one of the hardest things to do of when putting it in is just that the helicopter blades keep getting in the way. But that is completely normal. Just try to keep them in a position where they won't get in the way and stuff, which is actually really, really hard. But just try to do your best on putting them like that. And now with that being done, now we just have to move in the feet like this. Just gonna have to move them in like that. Just push this piece in right here. And then, now with that being done, you could simply just attach these pieces right here like so. And rather, this is one of the hard parts to do, is that when you attach these pieces, another piece will attach, another piece will detach, and so on and so forth. So that is one of the hardest things to do about this figure, is that when finishing the transformation and stuff, the arms will start to detach and stuff. So that is just one of my major gripes with this figure and stuff. So just I sometimes like to put the feet in first and just try to shove the arms inside. I like to do sometimes the feet first, but although you're supposed to do the arms first and then the feet, that works more. However, you could do both ways. I'm pretty sure that the original way, which is just the arms first and then the feet, works better. But I think the simpler way is just the feet first and the arm. But anyways, they both transform the same way. Now with that being done, you're just simply gonna have to fold out the wheels like that. Although the wheels can't move, so I was really disappointed about that. And now for the final piece right here, you're just gonna have to make sure this piece unfolds like that. Just push this piece inside the tail like that. Like this. And then now we have, wait, not yet. We still need to fix the helicopter blades right here and there. Now we have Grindor fully transformed into his awesome, cool, I believe. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the boxy. It is a silkery, I don't know, it's some sort of helicopter or something, but I really do like how it looks like a Marine's helicopter. It really does look quite amazing. The details that are applied to this figure are nice, and then even the blade can spin and all, so you could have this for some really cool stop motions, where you could have Blackout in that Qatar military base in Transformers the movie. And then I think that this just looks really cool between Blackout and like just this. It just looks really cool. Now taking a quick look at Blackout in his vehicle form, and I have accidentally disconnected everything. Like I said, when you try to connect one thing, everything else disconnects. So that is just one thing I did not like about the figure and all. But one thing I did kind of like about it is that when you connect the legs, it kind of gives me a Lego vibe. So yeah. Although I didn't transform it correctly, I did, but it just didn't attach all the way. So yeah. Well, basically you saw Blackout's helicopter mode, and you saw it looks really cool. So now just bringing him in for a closer detail. Let me just bring him in for a closer detail right here. And it is really hard to connect these pieces sometimes, so just push it in right here. Push this in right there. Like that, and then and there. That's how Blackout looks like in his helicopter mode. Now we have him correctly transformed. And now with that being done, I think that this figure looks quite amazing in his helicopter mode. In both modes, he looks amazing. Although I do like his robot form mode. And now to attach Ravage on the back, there is this little port right here, and this little slot. So you're just gonna have to simply, it's about aligning it up appropriately. Although I have found it to be really hard to put it in, so I won't be putting it in this review, because I just have found it really hard to put it in and stuff. And you have seen that the arm has detached right now, and I think it's just kind of hard to put in. So all the details on Blackout, we can see this Marines 53, this gun right here. Everything on Blackout just looks really cool. So that about concludes my video of Studio Series 73 Grindor. I know I've been calling him Blackout, but this is Grindor in fact. Well, that concludes my video. I thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, leave a nice comment, and until then, I will see you at my next Transformers Studio Series video, which will be either of Jolt, Galvatron, or another G1 character. Until then, I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.